Well, hello everyone, and welcome in to our premiere Sunday afternoon program. We call it the Christian Court. And, some Christians will differ with other Christians on certain things. And there's peculiar questions that would come up. So today we've got some questions that came up. Some have been asked here to me in the 6 screens. So I wanted the court to be able to address it. So I'm going to bring our two scholars on. So the next question, and we'll keep you right there, Scott. We'll have you answer this. Recently on CNN, they talked about the future of artificial intelligence. And artificial intelligence is promising technology with a human touch, but is it human enough to deliver a convincing spiritual message, a sermon? Pastors and rabbis have recently discovered that ChatGPT, which we know is an AI language learning model that can spit out prose writings with just a few prompts. And it's not that bad in creating a sermon, some pastors and rabbis say. As a matter of fact, some churches now are using chat to write their sermons. Now, historically, these sermons or orations are based on generations of knowledge, keen textual analysis, and scholarship, combined with each worship leader's unique charisma and experiences. Sermon writing is considered an art, a divine calling. So we now have Chat GPT entering the world of Christianity. How should a Christian feel about AI?
The problem with lazy pastors is not a new problem, and that's unfortunate whenever it happens. Even before there were AI solutions, there were books published with sermon starters or entire sermons. In fact, I had one seminary professor tell me that he had subscribed as a lark to a subscription service that would send you a different sermon every week, a pre-made sermon. So it's not like this couldn't happen in any way before we got artificial intelligence. But lazy pastors and lazy men in leadership should be held to account. They should be censured for doing such a sloppy job, and should get someone who's more serious about God's kingdom in there. Now, as to how we should feel about artificial intelligence, I love this question because I have an engineering degree. I worked at IBM for 17 years. And what I did there was I was a software developer. In other words, I trained computers. You think about training children, they can learn and they can understand. They're pretty smart. But let me tell you this about computers, because I've worked with trying to teach them. Computers are dumb. I mean, really, really dumb. You may have heard this expression about someone. He's as dumb as a box of rocks, right? Well, that's how it is with machines. They're dumb as rocks. And in fact, your machine, your computer, is made with a silicon microchip. What's silicon? It's a rock. It's one of the most common rocks on the planet. And your computer is literally as dumb as a rock. It can only do what it's told. Machines can only do what they're told. They can't make decisions. They can't think. Now, the reason that we fall into this trap is because there's been so many great films and science fiction books and stories about computers, becoming sentient and becoming aware. And yeah, those are fun stories, but we got to remember about science fiction. It's fiction, not real. Computers and all machines, they don't have a soul. They don't have life. In the book of Genesis, when God mentions the animals have a soul. It's called nephesh in Hebrew. And humans have a nephesh that is different than the animals because we're made in God's image. We have a rational soul. But machines, which are made out of rocks, have no soul. They can't get one. There's nothing you can do to give a machine a soul. So when you're interacting with this artificial intelligence and you think, wow, it's amazing how much it knows, it doesn't know anything. It's only doing what it was told to do. And all the intelligence you see is something that was put there by an intelligent agent, a man, a person who programmed it. And all of this knowledge that's been gathered through search engines is part of the kind of crowdsourced knowledge that has been given to programs like ChatGPT, from which they can draw and create answers. But let me tell you this, there's no chance of them becoming sentient or self-aware. And in fact, the idea that machines might become aware and have a soul and start to think and make decisions and all that, it's an atheistic idea. It's not a Christian idea. As Christians, we know God imbued us with souls. The animals have a lesser soul than ours that's not rational, not made in God's image. And the trees and the rocks have no soul whatsoever. And your machine, even though it may fool you into thinking it's smart, it is not smart. It has no soul. It's never going to get one. So Christians should not be afraid of these things. Artificial intelligence taking over the world. That's something for the atheists. I saw this Elon Musk was talking about how he's worried that the AIs might take over the world. Can't be done. If an AI or a bunch of robots take over the world, it's because they were programmed to do by some dude who wants to take over the world, right? That's the only way that can happen. So don't be afraid about AI. Remember, they have no soul and they're dumb as rocks. Thank you.
I'm going to remember that. I'm going to remember they're dumb as rocks and no soul. Yeah, no, that's very good. Thank you very much, Scott. Good explanation.
Yes, turns out both Scott and I involved with IBM and software development. Who knew?